In the headlines, Alba countries commended after abstaining from an OAS resolution against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Financial shortfalls continue to delay the completion of the Cathedral Renovation project. And a vacancy for a new principal opens up at Convent High after the announcement of the current principal's retirement this week. I am Andrea Levy with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. First up, Venezuela's resident ambassador to Dominica, Hayden Pirela, has commended Alba countries for abstaining from a recent failed OAS resolution criticizing the president of his homeland. Iduna Jean-Baptiste has that story.
His Excellency Hayden Pirela's statements come in light of ongoing political instability in Venezuela, in which there's been months of clashes between government forces and opposition protesters. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who leads the member nation of the Organization of American States, is being accused of dictatorship by delaying elections, jailing opposition activists as he attempts to change the constitution in his administration's favor. His Excellency Pirela says the move by Mexico and Peru to join forces with the U.S. lobbying OAS states to adopt a resolution seeking to condemn President Maduro's governance is not the way to solve this situation.
But they don't have the vote for condemning Venezuela. They need 23 votes, but they got 20 votes. CARICOM, where is Dominica, where is Antiguas. I went to send that country, the Prime Minister Kerry, the Prime Minister Antigua, St. Vincent, because they are called for the dialogues. They are called for the peace in Venezuela, and that is important. I believe that the country, they have to look for the dialogue, they have to look for the peace, because Venezuela needs help, yes, but Venezuela don't need some country condemning. Then
ministers from the 34-member OAS failed to reach an agreement on the resolution when they met in Mexico on June 19 for the OAS General Assembly. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Francine Barron represented Dominica at that forum. Dominica, who's also a member of CARICOM and ALBA, was among the OAS states which rejected the resolution, along with Bolivia and Nicaragua, while Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua and Barbuda, the Dominican Republic, and others abstained. Amid mounting violent protests, the OAS General Secretary, Luis Almagro, released a report in March calling on regional governments to suspend Venezuela from the American bloc unless general elections are held soon to put to rest the situation, which he said is destroying the country's democracy. Pirela says Almagro should not meddle in Venezuela's affairs.
But the General Secretary, Mr. Almagro, he has a position against Venezuela. We don't understand that because he's the General Secretary of the OAS. He had to be opposition, a balanced position, no? Neither Venezuela, neither another country. They have to respect Venezuela. They have to let the Venezuelan people solve the problem. We don't need influence another country. For example, United States or side is influenced for Venezuela in Venezuela. He not respect the sovereign Venezuela. And CARICOM said, you have to respect Venezuela. Any country is free, and any country has democracy, and Venezuela is a big democracy.
Pirela further justified that Maduro has not completed his term in office since he's only spent 4 of the required 6-year term.
Nicolas Maduro don't have to go. The opposition is calling for the general election now. It's not possible. And the President Maduro, we elect him about for 6 years. Now he has 4 years. I believe that if we go to we sit in a table, all the group, to dialogue, I believe maybe the opposition stop the violence.
The ongoing socio-economic crisis in the South American state has resulted in shortages of food and medicine, according to CNN reports, and its Bolivar currency continues to lose value. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
In other top stories, Prime Minister Skerrit believes the Dominicans should seriously scrutinize any information they intend to use to make important life decisions. Mr. Skerrit was on Thursday expressing solidarity with Venezuela on the 12th anniversary of the Petro-Caribe Agreement. Venezuelan officials have been concerned that some of the information on the political unrest in Venezuela is not entirely accurate. The Prime Minister echoed the Venezuelan ambassador, saying that Dominica could draw lessons from the situation in that country. He is concerned about the impact of misinformation in both countries.
An ambassador Pearl indicated that you will watch the media and you will think that it is the whole of Venezuela that's engaging itself in this. And he's indicated to us out of the 10 municipalities within the city, only 2 areas or so that are engaged in this violent actions. We must read for ourselves. Too many of us are causing ourselves to be educated by ignorant people. We listen to a talk show and a man says something and we believe it completely. We go on, we Google something and we see it and we read it and we agree, okay, fine, it's true. We have to educate ourselves by reading and comprehending what we read properly and accurately. And we cannot, as a nation, build ourselves if our source of information, our only source of information which we subject ourselves to, is from ignorant people.
Against the background of opposition protests in Dominica, the Prime Minister commended the Maduro government for exercising great restraint in the current situation.
In all of these things, governments must always be the bigger person in this matter. And I must say that the government of Venezuela has been the bigger and more responsible in the current situation in Venezuela. Likewise in Dominica. The opposition elements believe they can bring 1,000 people on the streets. I can bring 20,000 to the streets. But to whose benefit? If we have more people fighting with each other in the streets of Dominica. So our silence, our inaction, we're not responding like for like, must never be construed as weakness. It must be construed as strength, maturity, responsible leadership. Because it would be our brothers and sisters who will be killed in the streets of Dominica.
On to money matters, financial shortfalls continue to plague the renovation of the Lady of Fairhaven Cathedral as the deadline for completion has once again been pushed back by more than a year. Currently, the structure is in Lot 5 of renovation, which diocesan engineer Bernard Lowick says will be completed early next year.
The contractors ACE Engineering are presently halfway in their contract. They have completed almost 80% of the support system for the roof. Next thing, they will be putting a waterproofing layer, and then they will be putting some roofing tiles. They are according to schedule, and their schedule would put their completion date on the 3rd of February 2018. We encountered a problem with the steeple, with the bell tower. When it was uncovered, we found out that the timber, which seemed to be the original timber from the 1800s, was badly rotten. So now the contractor is asking for an additional 2 months to reconstruct that steeple. So that would bring the completion date for the roof, steeples included, to around 15 March 2018.
The Cathedral Renovation Committee is on a drive to raise $3 million towards the completion of the renovation project.
So far, we have raised over $7 million that we have come together. We have over $1 million, almost $1.2 million available that we can use as of now. And as I said to you, to complete the project, we need $3 million. And $3 million by any stretch of the imagination is difficult, but we know we can do this. We have been getting contributions, we have been getting support, but yet still, you understand that raising $3 million is not easy. We have had to undergo a loan to see how far we can go in terms of pushing the project. That loan has to be paid back. And we are asking for your generosity, we are asking for your support.
At the moment, there are 7 more lots to the renovation project. Bishop of Roseau, Gabriel Malzé, expressed optimism in the cathedral renovation project being completed in the next year and a half. But the diocesan engineer says it all depends on the financing.
We have 12 phases. So now I need to say that the 5 earlier phases were the heavier ones, financially and work-wise. Now we will be going in, for example, lot number 6, or phase number 6 as the flooring. That can be done in a few weeks' time at a small cost. Next thing will be heavier, will be lot number 7, will be the ceiling, the electrical installation, the sound system, and so on. That again will require some expense and might take some time to complete. But if we have the floor, we have the ceiling, we have the lights, the cathedral could be used, you could move into the cathedral and start using it. So Bishop said a year and a half, maybe to move back in. Not a complete finished cathedral, but substantially completed.
On to educational developments. The Business Training Center is embarking on a new venture which will give Dominicans and others overseas the option of pursuing CXC and other courses online. BTC President Lucia Stedman says the school has been receiving requests for online courses prior to the CXC's venture online.
So we have students calling in even from New York, those who left, those who overstayed their time in New York, asking for some sort of certification. And they are saying that the schools that they want to enter, although they bypass BTC, perhaps did private CXC and have the CXC certificate, if some of them perhaps did 1, 2 CXCs, the schools are asking for high school transcript. The whole dynamics have changed regarding qualifications and certification. So because of that, we have an increase in online requests so that people who are overseas or at home, unable to attend classes, although they are employed, they still require the foundation of a diploma or a transcript. So that is really our reasoning behind the upgrade.
It is unclear how much this upgrade will cost, but BTC will certainly have to invest in new equipment.
Unfortunately, we cannot have a fixed camera in every classroom. So we are getting cameras that we can move around, mobile cameras on a tripod that's movable, so that once we have students registered in a particular class online, then that class will go live. We're going to be doing a backup system so that if a student did not have the time because of schedule overseas on jobs and so on, if a person was not able to attend the class at the scheduled time when it was live, we will have our archives so that that student can go back to see what they missed. The challenges we're seeing is the administration aspect of it. It's really big. It's exciting. It's big, but I love it. We have to treat the online customers the same way that we treat those who are entering our doors. For example, we have transcripts that we issue at the end of every term or semester. The examinations that the online students do has to be the same that the regular students do. So it cannot be, we're looking at everything. What are our best options? Should we create separate exams? We are looking at our data bank, because you must have a database of exam with a pool of options so that you don't end up being compromised online. We have to look at security of our server. So that's very, very costly for us at the moment. So we're looking at that.
Effective September 2017, BTC plans on offering classes that are most popular online. Stedman says she is working to keep fees for online courses on par with local fees for at least the first year. Coming up, a fitting tribute for an accomplished educator. Welcome back. The 96 young ladies who graduated from the Convent High School on Wednesday are being encouraged to stay the course when life's challenges come their way. The ceremony was held under the theme, Turning Our Negatives into Positives and Our Promises into Plans. Writer and Registrar of the Dominica State College, Dr. Shyla Esprit, was the featured speaker.
But we don't always win, even when we are the best. So many isms in the world can turn into a win into a loss for young women who come from a really small place. Sexism, ageism, racism, you name it, they exist. Sometimes other people cheat, maneuver, treat others badly, act in selfish ways, and you see them winning over you. And that hurts so much. But at the end of the day, what is not yours is not yours. And you should move on to what is for you. But what you always get from the loss is the lesson, how to sharpen your focus, hone your skills, work harder, and trust your instincts more. It makes you more resilient, but it will never stop loss.
The students were cautioned not to unfairly compare their lives to others.
Measuring yourself against others fuels a distorted sense of self. Our school motto notes for us a tried and true way to combat the negative elements in life, labor omnia vincit. We work hard to achieve our goals and will succeed despite the obstacles we face. However, I'd like you to go through your life with an equally valuable motto, amor omnia vincit. Love conquers all. It is love that shapes us, moves us through the tight, uncomfortable spaces of grief, hurt, disappointment, or defeat, and ushers us into a new, more refined and conscious version of ourselves for the next stage of our lives.
The Ministry of Education shared some words of advice with the students.
As you look to make good on your theme, a quest for positive in life, I urge you to look ahead to your future with optimism. You will need to put forward your best self. Draw on the experiences you have gained as a student. Maintain your disciplined approach to hard work and be consistent in your efforts to attain your set goals.
Valedictorian Dejana Willis encouraged her fellow graduates not to be troubled by negative circumstances.
To the graduating class, I urge you to always remember this journey. Never forget the people who helped you ride out the turbulence on your flights. Everything we encounter in life is a blessing, and even when it may not seem as such, we learn from it and emerge even stronger than we were before. We have turned and are turning our negatives into positives. All our experiences made us who we are, so I emphasize, never hide or neglect your flight log. Instead, use it to plan your future itinerary. We can stand strong with God by our side and tread confidently, knowing that the legs which we stand on were built firmly to carry us. Now, it's up to us to put in the extra effort to achieve, succeed, and take long flights towards where we want to be.
Several awards were presented to deserving students. Still with the CHS, tributes are pouring in for outgoing principal of the Convent High School, Josephine Dublin. Dublin served the school as a teacher since 1975, or for 42 years, and 13 of those years working as its principal.
Education is one thing, but you give so much more. With inspiration beyond limit, you have helped the Convent High School to rise and soar. Your patience, tolerance you showed, I am sure your life's tree will branch out beautifully because its seeds have been sowed by a nurturer like you. You administered Convent High School with a firm hand, was steady at the helm, and is quite an example of what a progressive, efficient leader should be. Mrs. Dublin, the Ministry of Education congratulates you on your retirement and hope that you will be able to be called upon for your experience in the coming years as we continue to build education in Dominica. May the God bless you and keep you. Thank you so very much for your remarkable service to the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Gabriel Malzer, commended Dublin for being an exemplary teacher and principal.
I am Mrs. Dublin. I want to say to you that it has always been a joy to work with you. She has been a very exemplary principal and exemplary teacher. And well, I wouldn't say we will miss her too much because I have worked for her.
Dublin said she was grateful to have had the opportunity to serve.
I am very grateful that God has blessed me with the grace of serving in this little spot of His kingdom from 1975. It was the love and the mercy of God that have fueled me over the years, and this vocation has been an integral part of my life. God's grace has been manifested in the many persons associated with this school, and I use this opportunity to thank them most sincerely.
And Dominica's health and wellness sector is set to benefit from a new event, bringing all stakeholders together and exposing it to the masses. Livity Ital Festival Experience, or LIFE, is an expo set to showcase a range of products and services for healthy living options available in Dominica. The event is expected to take place over the weekend of 7th to 9th July at the Old Mill Cultural Center. Silk Asara is on its organizing committee.
And it's really a holistic experience, health and wellness aspect, where we share, informative technology, same when knowledge, techniques, how to prepare ITAL, how to deal with diseases, in our today's, situations with the youth and so on, and the best ways forward. So this event is basically to share. It's really a celebration where we share knowledge, food, and entertainment. Well, we expect from about 14 to 18 exhibitors. We have up to 12 artists on the lineup. And of course, there's many more who's going to come through. And we have space, and we set up a little slot, a 30-minute slot for that. We also have health and wellness service providers who are going to be part of this. People like Trudy, Scott Prevost, D'Africa. The Health and Wellness Association, in fact, is part of this.
He says the event will also complement the other food festivals on the island.
It is hard not to embrace nature, and with all of those other festivals going on like Pork Fest and Titiwi Fest and all of those meat and things, which is good, what I'm saying. So here we come with ITAL Festival to balance the people's mind and body. We expect right here to share information with the people, to really inform the people about health and wellness practices, about the environment, practices that would enable them to protect the environment. We also are here, or we use this event also to set a platform for entertainment for our artists.
Another organizing committee member, Arabella Peters, outlined the event lineup.
On Friday, 7 July 2017, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., we have the open ceremony, wellness symposium workshops, yoga, open fire, acoustics, and an ITIL dinner. And on Saturday, 8 July 2017, from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m., we'll have the exhibition, yoga, cooking workshop, nature tour, children activities, and live entertainment. And on Sunday, 9th July 2017, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., we'll have exhibition, yoga, relax by the river, wellness activities, poetry and comedy, children's activity and acoustic entertainment also. And it's $10 for individuals, $15 for couples, $25 for family of 5.
That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, West Indies put up some resistance, but that wasn't enough when India won by 93 runs in the third one-day international on Friday. Batting first, India was held to 251 for 4. MS Dhoni scored 78 and A. Rahane 72. Miguel Cummings picked up 2 for 56, Devendra Bishu 1 for 38, and Jason Holder 1 for 53. Set 252 to win, West Indies were all out for 158 in 38.1 overs. Jason Mohammed contributed 40 and Rovman Powell supported with 30. R. Ashwin took 3 for 28 and K. Yadav 3 for 41. The teams will meet up again on Sunday for the 4th ODI at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. First ball is at 9 a.m. Meantime, the Dominica Cricket Association's Intermediate League resumes this weekend with 4 matches should the weather hold up. On Saturday, Mahu United will come up against Grassroots Cricket Academy at Soufriere, while Reuben Bakery Christians will do battle with Starlight Sports Club at Botanic Gardens. The action continues on Sunday when Police Sports Club will be looking to outperform Marino Evergreen at Benjamin's Park. Finally, Jays Dubla United will be in action against Summit Sports Club at Botanic Gardens. All matches are scheduled to begin at 11 a.m. on each day. Moving on to cycling, where the countdown continues to the OECS Cycling Championships, and the Dominican squad is optimistic about their chances at the race. Vice President of Dominica Cycling Association, Andrew Amos, said the awards for the top 3 riders should have a positive impact on tourism here.
What I felt is that we should do prizes for Dominica and make it a Dominican prize. And along those lines, I've gotten prizes from Rosalie Bay and from Picard Beach Cottage Resort, and we're working on Secret Bay, not in the bag yet, for us to get a prize for 3 nights with breakfast and dinner. And we think this is a sort of prize we want to give because it'll sort of bring back those riders to reintegrate with the riders that we have down here, at least, even if just for 1 weekend. And those prizes will be Dominican prizes. It will make them never forget this island. And that's the way I've gone with the prizes.
Meantime, national cyclist Garon Ducre says he has a strategy for Sunday's race.
Make sure I remember certain areas on the course where I can use the momentum to overcome the resistance of certain areas that are more challenging. So I have a strategy in mind for coming July 2nd, and I have trained on that route. I'm familiar with that route.
The squad scheduled to represent Dominica in the OECS Cycling Championship comprised Bram Sanderson, Cheston Later, Benjamin Daniel, Levi Barron, Gabriel Amo, Garon Ducre, Saeed Shillingford, Philip Eugene, and Kim Williams. At this point, it is unclear whether or not veteran cyclist Hayden Mills will be competing in Sunday's event. Mills sustained injuries to his shoulder, finger, and leg at one of the warm-up races leading up to Sunday's event. The 2017 OECS Cycling Championships is carded for Sunday and begins with an opening ceremony at 8 a.m. The race starts at 9 a.m. and runs from Portersville to Cabritz and back. Sports continues with football, where the race to the championship gets closer when 2 teams vie for the coveted DFA Domlec Women's League title on the weekend. The Dive Dominica Harlem and the New Generation Sports Clubs will be in a competitive atmosphere on Sunday, weather permitting.
The championship for the DFA Domlec Women's League will be decided on Sunday when Dive Dominica Harlem United takes on defending champions New India Goodwill Runners at the Windsor Park Stadium from 5 p.m. The reigning champs for the second weekend in a row find themselves in a must-win situation if they are to hold on to their title. They are on 20 points and can reach a maximum of 23 points. Harlem, who are on 21 points, also need a victory if they are to raise their first national title. A draw on Sunday will put them on 22 points with New Generation Sports Club, who has a better goal difference. Meanwhile, on that same Sunday, Maosoka Strikettes will take on Bomber Starlights at 3 p.m. in the opener of a doubleheader at the Windsor Park Stadium.
Next up, action continues in the 2017 Flow DABA League with Premier, Division 1 and Under-17 matches on the weekend. If the weather holds up on Saturday, we will witness the future of Dominicas basketball at its finest when Sports Division's inter-school team comes up against 767 Sports Club at 7 in the Division 1. At 9, things heat up a bit with Pitchland Sports Club Falcons going head-to-head with Elijah Law Chambers Thunderers in the Premier Division. Both games are carded for Grand Bay. And if that wasn't enough, then be sure to be at the Massac Hardcourt when Digital Clouds and the 767 Sports Club compete in the Under-17s from 6 p.m. And at 8, the senior guys will take to the court featuring a Premier League matchup of E.H. Charles Crossovers and Flow X-Men. On to primary school sports, the South Zone defeated the Southwest by 8 wickets to cup the primary schools district championships on Thursday. Southwest won the toss and elected to bat first, finishing on 105 all out after 13.1 overs. Mervyn Eustace contributed 13. Ralph Alexander took 2 for 6. Neil Francis 2 for 17 and Denick Pinard 2 for 28. In reply, the South easily overcame their rivals and scored 109 in 12.2 overs with the loss of 2 wickets. Nathan Francis had an unbeaten 34, Curdell Gabriel 23 and Beaton Roy 20 not out. And the semi-final spot in the Big Edge Gifford Tuse Softball Cricket League will be up for grabs when Stuco Construction Hammers and Cornells go head-to-head this Sunday. The teams have made it to semi-final rounds in the past, and Sunday's game will be crucial in deciding who moves on and get a chance at winning the final. The winner's fate will be decided at the Soufriere playing field at 10 in the morning. That's all the sports for now. Join us next time.
Coming up, your weekend weather report.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janelle Macpherson. A high-pressure system was the dominant feature across Dominica today. Meanwhile, infrared satellite imagery showed this area of multi-layered clouds across the northern portion of the island chain, and this area of cloudiness associated with a tropical wave expected in our area by late Saturday into Sunday. Visible satellite imagery today showed partly cloudy skies across Dominica. Radar imagery indicated of widely scattered showers across parts of the island chain this afternoon. The weather for tonight, fair to occasionally cloudy, breezy and hazy with a few brief scattered showers. These conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow with temperatures peaking up to 32 degrees Celsius. Marine conditions tomorrow, moderate in open water, waves peaking up to 7 feet. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, an increasing cloudiness and shower activity with possible isolated thunderstorms expected by late Saturday into Sunday as a tropical wave traverses the area. A relative improvement in conditions is expected by Monday. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with some scattered showers expected across the northern to central portion of the region, while cloudy to overcast skies and possible isolated thunderstorms are expected across the southern portion of the islands. On the international cities forecast, thunderstorm activity expected in New York and Caracas, while generally fair weather conditions are expected in Miami, London and Beijing. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:38 a.m. and the sunset at 6:40 p.m. We are in the hurricane season. Please keep up to date with weather information by calling our weather hotline at 447-5555 or visiting our website at weather.gov.dm. Thank you for viewing and have a good weekend.
To end the news, the headlines again. Alba countries commended after abstaining from an OAS resolution against Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro. Financial shortfalls continue to delay completion of the Cathedral Renovation project. And a vacancy for a new principal opens up at Convent High after the announcement of the current principal's retirement this week. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsJune30th2k17b. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.